Let us now discuss multi-dose vial policy, or the MDVP. The World Health Organization Multi-Dose Vial Policy, or MDVP statement dated 2014 states that all open WHO pre-qualified multi-dose vials of vaccine should be discarded at the end of the immunization session or within 6 hours from opening, whichever comes first, unless the vaccine meets all the criteria listed, which will be later be presented, and if the vaccine meets the 4 criteria, the opened vial can be kept and used for up to 28 days after opening. MDVP means that if the vaccine meets the following criteria, then again, it can be kept and used for up to 28 days after opening. The WHO policy spells out these 4 criteria. Number 1, the vaccine is currently pre-qualified by the World Health Organization. Second, the vaccine is approved for use for up to 28 days after opening the vial as determined by the World Health Organization. Third, the expiry date of the vaccine has not passed. And fourth, the vaccine vial has been and will be continue to be stored in a WHO or manufacturer recommended temperatures. Furthermore, the vaccine vial monitor, if one is attached, is visible on the vaccine label and is not past the discard point, and the vaccine has not been damaged by freezing. Currently, the National Immunization Program, the vaccines in the National Immunization Programs that are covered by the MDVP includes hepatitis B vaccine, tetanus diphtheria vaccine, bivalent OPV vaccine, IPV vaccine, and the recently delivered and used flu vaccines are covered by the multi-dose vial policy. The policy further states that for non-WHO pre-qualified vaccines, the recommendation is to use it as soon as possible after opening and respecting the time limit for using open vials as indicated by the manufacturer's instruction in the package insert. So single-dose vials like pentavalent vaccines and reconstituted vaccines like the BCG and the MCV or the measles-containing vaccines such as MR, measles, and the MMR are not covered by the multi-dose vial policy. Now, let us discuss the vaccine vial monitor or the VVM. VVM is a label on the vaccine vial which serves as an indicator. If the vaccine were exposed to heat, then the indicator will change color. The VVM sticker is found either on the label or on the cup of the vial or the ampule. It looks like a white square inside a light violet circle. The VVM changes color when the vial has been exposed to heat over a period of time. So the factors are considered before the VVM changes its color are first, heat exposure, and second, period of time. The square becomes darker in color if the vial is exposed to heat. Aside from checking the expiration date, we need to always check the VVM status. When we receive a vaccine shipment, if the cold chain temperature monitoring device, such as a fridge tag, displays a high temperature alarm, it is possible that the temperature is more than positive 8 degrees Celsius for a continuous time of at least 10 hours occurred. If this occur, randomly check the VVM and please do not accept the delivery if the VVM reached the discard point. When preparing vaccines for distribution to health facilities or during immunization outreach activities, please do not distribute vaccines with VVM that reached discard point or that is past discard point. Before opening a vaccine vial in an immunization session, we also need to check the VVM status to see if the vaccine has been damaged by heat. Please do not administer vaccine with VVM that has reached the discard point or that is past the discard point. The VVM do not measure exposure to freezing temperatures. Hence, for free sensitive vaccines, we need to be extra careful and particular. A VVM still at the start point does not include the possibility that the vaccine has been frozen. If a freeze-sensitive vaccine with VVM still at the start point is expected to be frozen, then we can perform the shake test. Checking for the status of VVM is easy but can be a little bit tricky. Check the VVM under natural light to properly view the degree of change in color of the VVM on the vial. The starting color of the square inside the VVM is always bluish gray in tinge. It is never perfectly white. The inner square remains lighter than the outer circle until the temperature and the duration of heat reaches the level known to degrade the vaccine beyond acceptable limits. Anywhere at this point, the color of the inner square is lighter than the color of the outer circle. Judging based on VVM alone, then we can use this vaccine. However, the closer the color of the inner square to the color of the outer circle, the more we should prioritize to use or deliver that vaccine vial compared to the other vials. However, there is such thing as discard point. Once a vaccine has reached or exceeded the discard point, the color of the inner square will be the same color or even darker than the outer circle. From the discard point until the point wherein the color of the inner square is darker than the outside circle, we can no longer use the vaccine. Again, we cannot longer use the vaccine if the vaccine vial monitor has reached the discard point or is beyond the discard point. So why is VVM important? Because VVM can help us in many ways. Monitoring the VVM are important for us to prevent the delivery and administration of heat-sensitive vaccines. Since we have an indicator which vial are nearing the discard point, we can actually prioritize the release, the delivery, and the use of the vial. Hence, we can also reduce the wastage, the damage. VVM will also help us identify cold chain problems. If the VVM of the vial placed on the ref turns to darker color compared to the usual, this may mean that the ref is not maintaining the temperature well, hence an indication for us to investigate further the cold chain problem. It can also help us manage stock by providing us aid which one should be used first. So this means that VVM should not be anymore just a design on the vial label. VVM should be used as a monitoring tool. So now let us try these exercises. So you will tell me, okay, if you are still going to use or discard the following vials based on the VVM. Let us start. Use or discard. So judging from the color of the inner square and comparing it to that of the outer circle, we can see that still the inner square has lighter color as compared or shade as compared to that of the outer circle. Hence, this is still within the use point. For the second picture, are we going to use this or discard this vial? So again, comparing the color of the inner square and comparing it to the color of the outer circle, we can see here in this example that the color of the inner square is darker as compared to that of the outer circle. Hence, judging from this, this is past the discard point. Hence, we are going to discard and not use this vial anymore. Now, for the third example, are we going to use or discard this vial? Based on the VVM alone, then we can actually use this vial because the color of the inner square is lighter than that of the outer circle. However, based on the overall status of the vial, since the label has been damaged, I actually cannot see anymore the lot number or even the expiration number and even the name of the vial. And also, we can also see here that the cap of the dropper is missing. Hence, based on the overall status of the vial, even though that the VVM can still be can indicate that we can still use the vaccine. However, based on the overall status of the vial, this may be discarded already. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something about cold chain management today.